What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kemp with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I'm super pumped, super excited. We have a very, very cool guest. She's lived in Trinidad and Tobago, which is a beautiful island somewhere in the world where it's like sands and the ocean everywhere. She's a podcast guest. She's also the host of her own show, the Mss Francois Show, and she considers herself the breakup expert or getting over breakup expert. I don't know. That was a mouthful. Well, please welcome Mss Francois. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm like, you are just all smiles. I love it. Yes. So
well, I'm here to brighten up your day now.
That's right. That's right, girl. Well, can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Okay, so first of all, it's the Mss Francois Show. The MSS is for multi-talented and super sexy.
Yes.
And basically my show, we have conversations, of course, a lot of entertainment. I try to focus more on comedy, but the main purpose of my show is that I use humor to help others with their dysfunctional relationships. Because in some way, shape, or form, we all have dysfunction in our relationship, especially romantic relationships. I came, as you said, from Trinidad and Tobago. People always say Tobago, but it's Tobago. Okay. And I always like to let people know we have one of the 10 sexiest accents in the world. Thank you. Yeah. So you're welcome. Yeah. And I migrated here in my late teens. And I have one of those things that most immigrants coming here have, which is you feel lonely, you're confused, the culture shock, trying to adjust. So in the beginning, it's always hard when you're in a new place. It could be for anybody. Sure. So that's one of the huge adjustments that I had too. And I didn't have family here. Most of my family, I come from a large family. My mom drank a lot of milk, so it's eight brothers and sisters. And most of my family was in Trinidad. So it was very scary coming from a sheltered Christian home to America, New York, everything. We do everything here. We accept everything, have a bunch of fun. So that was a hard transition for me.
But I mean, awesome though. So can you tell us, so you also have a book. So you're also an author. You're a published author.
Yeah, girl, I do everything. I'm an entertainer, author, producer. The only thing I can't do, I can't sing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you could work on that. You could take some lessons and learn how to sing with that beautiful accent of yours. I mean, yeah, you don't know unless you try, right?
That is true. But I have tried. I scared my own self.
Yeah, you don't want me to sing either. Like my voice, no, you don't want me to sing. That's a good. So we won't sing. Well, or we could, maybe we'll help each other sing together. Who knows? You wrote a book called Let That, I'm assuming MF or Man Go, 5+ steps to getting over a breakup. Why did you choose that title?
Okay, so one of the big things with the title, so a lot of people want to say it is let that beep man go, right? Because it could be explicit words. So my thing was, when you end a relationship, you're not happy and hunky-dory and be like, yeah, that was great. I'm glad I learned some lessons. You're like, that, and you're letting out all kind of words. So I left that space blank so people could express themselves however they wanted to. So let that man go. You feel much better when you voice that. Like when you say a curse word, you feel so much better. Yeah. And it's 5+ steps to getting over a breakup. Because I always say I can't keep a man, but I'm pretty good at getting over a breakup. It doesn't. Some people, it takes them years, months. Yeah. I'm pretty good.
So, well, that is good. So, I mean, yeah. So I was married and my husband passed away. It took me a long time to really get into a relationship again. I dated here and there, but dating sucks.
Yeah. Honestly, I guess it's how you see it. For me, according to where your mind is and how you see dating, it could suck. Especially when you see the things you got to choose from, girl. Oh. It sucks sometimes.
You're right, though.
But like even recently, I started back dating and it has been fun for me. And I think it's because my mindset where it is now is just about more having fun. Because a lot of times when women date, as soon as they date and they sit down to that dinner, they're like, okay, let me see what the kid's going to look like. Maybe we should move here. We start to over plan everything instead of just being present and enjoying and being in that moment. So that's what I've been doing now. And I've been having a lot of fun. I'm not tagging anything like, oh my God, how does my last name look? That's going to be my new last name. How much kids we should have. we do too much as women, too much.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm guilty of that. So I'm dating someone now, and we've been talking about babies, and we've been dating for 7 months. So, well, yeah, definitely start thinking about that right away. Well, I have a little bit more of an expiration on that part of having babies. But so, what came first, the book or the show?
So basically, if we go back a little further, you ever heard of Toastmasters?
What is it?
Toastmasters.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, don't think it's about drinking, because people's like, oh, alcohol. I like this girl already. No. So Toastmasters is one of those organizations that all over the world that teach you about public speaking and leadership skills. So I started there where, you know, we all have our issues. And for me, therapy was way too expensive. So I made speeches and I was able to speak about certain things. So I made this speech called Steve Harvey Cannot Find Me a Man, right? And in my mind, if Steve Harvey can't find you a man, who the hell could help you, right?
Right.
Right. So with that, I did that speech and I won the humorous competition in Toastmasters in all of New York. And with that, as always, when you continue to grow, someone mentioned to me, oh, you know what? You could take that 5 to 7 minute speech and make it into a one-woman show. And I'm like, what? I don't even, what the hell you talking about? But all you need is one idea, and I ran with it. And the following year, I was able to go off Broadway, and I had like sold out performances with a show called, I know I'm amazing. I told you.
You're so cute. I love it.
I call the show Frustrated because it basically goes through some of my past relationship and all the frustration. And, you know, the funny thing is a lot of people thought I was joking, but it was honestly, that was some of the relationships I was in and some of the issues that I faced, but I made it funny. So, you know, I always say when you add humor to anything, it's easier to digest. You know, people listen and they remember it. And even with that, so the following year now, I took that and someone had came into my job at the time, and I was kind of feeling, you know, you have those moments where you're stuck. Yeah. And the person said to me, if you could do anything in the world, what would it be? And I just blurted out, have a show like Carol Burnett. And then he go, who the hell is Carol Burnett?
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, am I that old?
She's a legend though. I mean, it's like,
yes. And I met her recently, like 2 years ago, I met her. I was the only person that got to go behind the stages and meet Carol Burnett. All the thousands of people. Oh my gosh,
that's amazing.
You telling me, I was excited. And everyone kept saying, I thought she was dead. I was like, I hate these people. Because you know, people don't know anything. So with that said, I made like some networking connections or whatever, and I found out how to put a show together. And at that point in time, I was like, in order to graduate from that particular class, which was like studio production, they said, you know, you just got to do a few things in front or behind the camera so we could pass you. But I don't do anything regular. So I had my friend that recently got out of a divorce. The thing is, she found her husband, mistress, hiding in the bathroom, right?
Oh, no.
And it was really exciting.
Oh my God.
So I told her, you want to come on the show and just talk about your story? But again, I don't make it boring. You know, it's fun. So once I was like, okay, when you first walked into the room and you saw her, I was like, how did she look? Was she cuter than you?
What'd she say?
So she was like, she had her butt done. She was like, she wasn't even that cute. So it's bringing out the fun aspect and looking back at your story, and you know. So with that, I actually that was supposed to be something behind the scene only for school, but it ended up being my pilot.
Very cool.
Crazy. That's why I always said God already has his plans. You have yours, but God just looks at you and laughs at you and like, that's not what you're going to be doing. And that's how the show actually started, because of that, going to that class and my friend being willing to come and tell her story. And that's actually one of my most viewed shows on YouTube because of that. Yeah, isn't that cool? I know.
That is cool. So you started your shows came first, and then you wrote the book.
So right. So after that, my show is taking off, doing whatever it does, and again, of course, I'm going through life. I'm going through different relationships or whatever. And I had done like just a simple ebook, like, like 5 pages, how steps stuff to get over, so forth and so on. And recently, as of last year, I had joined this course called like Be Seen on TV with someone called Chris and Jen. And I had met this particular person because at the end of the day, it's all about networking and people you come in contact with. And she's like, girl, you could make that into a book and you could tell your story. And I'm like, really? But her name was Brenda Warren. And the funny thing is that she calls herself the solutionist. So she actually gave me that idea. And with the help of my friend Candice Romani Trumpet, she edited the book. And I have a book, like something that I would have never thought in a million years for me to write anything. Sure. But it to unfold like this. And that's how the book actually came across. It was like a long journey.
Yeah, see, God has plans for you, girl. You're just like, you're going places. You're just like, shoom, sky's the limit.
He planned all that, but up to now I'm not pregnant and he ain't get my husband yet. So I'm guessing maybe he's leading up to that next.
Yes, I would think so. Yeah, all the success, you got to get all the success first and then find the right man to be the husband and get you the babies and all that good stuff, because he's got to be the right one.
True. Because he was like, oh, you could do, but at the same time, just like you said with expiration date, I'm counting how many eggs are left, but I still have some. I'm holding on though. I'm closing my leg. I walk with my legs like closed so none of the eggs roll out, Do what you gotta do.
Oh my God, you're hilarious. So how often does your show air and where can people find it? Well,
so before COVID, I used to do it in a studio.
Okay.
And right now, so the studio is not, I think that we're gonna open back on the 22nd, but because I'm amazing, I so happen to have all the things necessary to have my own little studio at home. So I do that at home now, and it's bi-weekly that I shoot up in YouTube. It's basically on all the community networks within the eastern area, like New York, DC, Pennsylvania, and 22 Caribbean countries.
Very cool. And then so they can all people can learn more about that at your website.
Yes, definitely. Mss Francois. Don't forget the
MS.com. And I'll put that link in the description of the episode. But you have some other questions here that I want to ask you. Who inspires you the most and why?
Okay, so I have a few people that inspire me, and definitely the Oprah of the world. And this is treatment people that I love. It's Michael Jackson. No matter what people say, I love.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I love Oprah. And Oprah had this particular guest. Her name was Tavira. I always pronounce it wrong. Trent, right? And this lady, one particular guest on Oprah show, this particular lady, she was from Africa. And she had like her short story basically is at that point in time, she was not allowed to go to school. Her job is basically get married off at 13, 14, have babies and continue on. And she had met a teacher along the way, and she had buried her dreams like under a tree. And her dream was to go to America, go to school and get an education and stuff like that. And after years of being in abusive relationships, all these different things, an opportunity opened where she was able to do that. And the cool part, she was able to come back from America and dig up where she planted all her dreams and stuff. Wow. And able to show us. It's pretty. It was an awesome story. And I was like, for someone like that job was just to have kids, and you never would think you'd be on a plane, come to America, let alone be on a Winfrey show, have any of your dreams. Now she has a doctorate and she's helping other people, and it's an amazing story. Awesome. Yeah, you should look her up. She's really amazing. One of my favorite guests on the Oprah show.
She wants to say hi. This is Athena. She's being a little wiggle worm. I got to keep her calm. So what does your family think about all the things that you're doing?
What's funny, no one ever asked me that question. Well, they, when it's come to especially your brothers and sisters, they're like, oh, that's my sister, who cares? Whatever. Yeah. But they're very supportive. But especially when being from Trinidad and Tobago, more laid back and relaxed, they're like, yeah, that's my sister, no big deal. But one thing with my parents, I would say, I could tell my mom I'm selling my own poop, and she'd be like, yes, girl, you do that. You'll be the best. My parents are the most supportive people. No matter what I say, they'll be right there. So that one, I'm definitely grateful. I have very supportive parents.
That's amazing. I love that. Let's see. What other one can I ask you? Why did you decide to host a relationship-focused talk show with a comedic twist?
Because I realized when we got all my own experience, and when you have in any relationship, is you have so many emotions that we go through, right?
Yes.
And then especially when it's over, you tell your friend that can't help you whatsoever because she herself can't keep a man, but she's trying to give you advice. You have those people. You have people that's going to judge you. I told you that man was no good, all that kind of drama. And all it makes you feel is depressed and angry and sad. And I'm like, why do I always, yes, we're going to go through those different emotions, but I shouldn't have to sit down, not bathe, eat myself, into a coma or whatever the case might be. It must be something else that I can have a different outlet. So that's why I wanted to add the humor so people could breathe, so people could relax, so you could look back at some of these decisions you made. Sometimes do you ever look back at an ex and be like, oh my God, he wasn't even that cute?
Yes.
You're like, yeah. You did a photo.
I was like, what was I thinking? I was upset about him? Like, really?
Exactly. It's funny. And what women don't realize, a lot of us go through the same things. And people could come on the show sometimes tell some of their stories that you could relate to, that you could laugh at, that make you have an aha moment and think of your own situation. And even I have like fun episodes too, where I have panels of men, panels of women that say what women want or what men want. And it's just interesting.
Yeah.
The delivery. And I always say, once you have the humor, you're like, oh, I can listen to that. Or you pause. Because I say when you scanning any TV show or going through the station, you just, especially in this day and age, you have so much to watch, right?
Yeah.
No one necessarily always want to see someone going, hi, my name is Mss Francois. By the time you don't even get to and finish your name, the person already moved on.
Yes.
But when you see someone like laughing, you're like, oh, what they laughing at? Or what they doing over there? You hook them with an extra few seconds that they might actually watch and digest the information and laugh.
Yes, agreed. I totally agree. It's much. I like to see people smiling, and if they're, totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. So, like, what else do you have on the horizons? You got. I'm assuming you got some exciting stuff coming up for you.
So I have. So one thing that I'm working on right now is having to do with the book. Is I'm putting together like a course, right? And the course, I want people to be like, you're not going to be coming here to sit down and cry or whatever. It's in reference to the book where I'm going to guide you through some of the steps to help you get to the next level. But it's going to do it in a fun way. So you're not sitting there like, girl, I can't believe he left me after. Yes, we know that. We're going to have a point where you could vent, because one of the things too also when it comes to relationship is a support system. And a lot of time when women come out of relationship, your support system is not the best. And that's also like even in one of the steps, having the right friends, I like to call them confidants, because I always say friends sleep with friends, confidants will sleep with you.
That's true.
Because I feel like people water down friendship now. Everybody's your BFF. And it's not always the best people. So always be conscious of the people that we're around. So I'm building up this course. So, you're going to have a support group. You're going to have some good stuff. You're going to have a fun time. And you're going to be doing more laughing and smiling and, kind of refocusing on yourself. So that's the whole thing. Because, again, when we're in relationship, we get tied up in the relationship. And we as women, we're nurturing, we're loving, we're emotional, and we put a lot of our time into that other person, and we tend to forget about us and the things that we were doing and we want to do. So I'm like giving you that reminder and kind of like
Yeah, that's good though. I think that's necessary, especially in this day and age. Women need to be reminded, like, it's about you.
I think that we always forget, and we put the kids first, everybody else first, to be honest, and then we're last and we're the drained ones, and we're just left there trying to pick up the pieces after the fact. And we shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't wait till that to happen to try to do something about it.
I agree. What are the 5+ steps for getting over a breakup?
Don't be asking me my business. No, I'll just touch on, a little on each one, because you should go buy the book.
Where can they buy the book? Where's the book?
Amazon. And the easiest thing I tell people, just put my name in and it comes up.
Very cool.
So,
okay.
Once they could read and spell, you're good. right? So one of the first steps are always like when I went about naming the steps, I named the steps for you to be like, what?
Yeah.
Like for you to, I didn't just put it inside, because sometimes people title stuff and you're like, okay, I could do that.
Yeah.
But the first step I tell people, clean house. And it's necessary. It's not like you're actually just cleaning your house, but it's getting away or sorting through certain things that have emotional attachment to them. Because a lot of us, me myself, I told myself, the man is not there anymore, but you're smelling the sheet, you're smelling the socks, you're smelling the shirt. So certain things you kind of have to reevaluate certain things that you have around you, and that's a form of cleaning house. So that's one of the steps.
I like it. I would, yeah. That's important to do. Get rid of the stuff that's gonna like keep you like all weepy and weak and stuff.
Yeah, believe me, I've done that. Months later, you're still like.
You're funny, girl. Hey, you're funny. Oh my gosh, I love it. You're awesome.
Thank you. And one of the other steps I tell people, I call it church. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, I don't believe in God. Oh my, calm down. Because church could mean different things to different people.
Right.
I need my Bible and I need a house of prayer. So that's for me. But also, I try to tell people it's more of trying to be centered. So that could be yoga for you. That could be meditation for you. Just recentering yourself. And again, everything I just go more in depth with, and places you can go, things you can do, to just recenter. We just need to pause sometime.
Yes.
So that whole church step is about pausing, I should say.
I love it.
I'm amazing. I just gotta touch myself.
Well, we won't finish the rest of the steps because people gotta go out and buy your book. Before we wrap things up, is there any last things you want to share with the audience? Anything else that we didn't talk about that you wanna leave with them so they can come find you and watch you on your show?
I mean, being fabulous and multi-talented and super sexy. I always like to tell people one thing is when it comes to relationships and trying to seek help, regardless if it's you're trying to find a relationship or coming out of one size does not fit all. It's just like tights. People always say one size. No, that's not necessarily going to fit you. So I always tell people, my show might be good for certain people. Someone else's book might be good for certain people. So I would say, educate yourself. Watch different things, read different things, and find out what works for you. Just because Steve Harvey says it, that doesn't mean the 90-day rule is for everybody. I can have sex tomorrow and with that person I just met and be married and happily married and have kids. When you're 90 days, you can wait 90 days. He has sex with you and leave you on the 91st day. So find out what works for you.
Love that. That is so true. Well, thank you so much for being a guest. We'll have to have you back when you start rolling out your class and what you're offering people, because you're just awesome. Your energy is just amazing. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kempo with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, follow, share, all that good stuff. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.